I gave you a choice. Explore Apatol's jungle death trap, fight among dragons, queuing up the hero's quest, hunting rare creatures for imaginable loot, and cleaning up our neglected achievement diaries. And I did not think you were gonna pick that one, but here we are! This is Lorebound, a RuneScape series where I can't gather, use, or process anything unless the game itself teaches me. No guides, no wikis, just dialogue, books, and in-game text. And while sometimes we hit a wall, I've got you. Comments are read, polls shape our journey, and the future is as bright as we make it. Pop quiz. What does an Iron Man do when they're unsupervised? Chop trees. Yep, you got it. I like to give the polls a nice 24-hour window to tabulate. After 2 to 3 days of straight writing and editing, I need some de-stress time. Thus the trees. But as I was chopping trees, I remembered a comment Marley Salt mentioned. The woodcutting tutor updates his advice at higher levels. Sure enough, he cracks the skill wide open. Oak, willow, and yes, a steel axe grace us with their unlocks. And speaking of unlocking, just a quick rule update. Early on in the series, episode 2 in fact, I put quest limits to recipe for disaster prerequisites. But as polls made a shift from unlock voting to direction focusing, and your comments are progressively improving day to day, becoming more and more useful, I realized the restriction needs to soften up. We need a metric boatload of alternative quest points for the Legends quest anyways, so we'll need to venture beyond the recipe for disaster quest point sphere at some point. Many unlocks, such as the infamous cake tin, are neatly locked behind some of those quests according to your research and reporting. Thank you for the great dialogue, by the way, guys. I really appreciate that. And before you worry, no, all the Lorebound specific restrictions are still in place. Obviously, those are never going away. Anyways, while on that chopping spree, I popped by Sears Village. The friendly forester hooked us up with a forestry pack and anima bark, and gave me the realization that some of these forestry specific items, the consumables specifically, are not in the collection log. They're likely going to be locked forever. And to add to the pain, I never realized how hit or miss forestry events are explained. The Dryad explains his event perfectly. The poachers, I have no idea how traps work. We just have to watch, sadly, as foxes are harmed in our abstinence in the clip. Sadness aside, we push onwards to 31 woodcutting. I circle back to the tutor just in case we can squeak out an addy axe or something, and no, even better, the rune axe, named explicitly, from bronze to steel, right to rune. Obviously that lit a fire under my butt to get all the way to 41 woodcutting with nothing but that steel axe. Now we just have to find the rune axe. Meanwhile, I knocked out a beginner clue, 0 unlocks, thank you clue nest, and figured since we finished in such close proximity to the Gelinor equivalent of Rome, let's talk clans. I've seen your comments, and it's time. Lorebound can now join a clan. To drop your recommendations below, though I can make no promises about my bingo games. Oh, one last thing. Rottenlobsters decided to reach out to me. Not as a sponsor, but more of a collab. They're a new website with clean layouts and highlights that display series-based RuneScape content. Swampletics, Unguided, Gelinor Games, me. And look, there's no best plugins of 2025 in sight, just bingeable, series-focused content just like us. They even have a Discord. Links in the description and the pinned comment. Once again, not sponsored, they are just honestly a good resource that's starting up. And it is at this moment we solidify the poll results, and we got the achievement diaries. Alright, fine, let's clean up shop. Ah, the great Ardougne. We find ourselves only with 2 tasks remaining, the fishing trawler and polishing up a rusty sword. My hope is just through talking to Murphy we can unlock the first, and fortunately Murphy breaks down the entire game mechanic plus teaches us how to make swamp paste. We're in. And we're out. That could have gone better. Why are there 2 fishing trawler worlds, and why is one a ghost town? Okay, well, I mean, at least we got the achievement. But the rusty sword, no, not yet. I'm almost certain that you can get one from the fishing trawler itself. I farm some paste and go again. Success, but also no sword. The broken armor, though, is a good sign that we can get the sword from here. There we go, sword acquired. But it's still locked. Enter Tyndall Marchant. Deep into his dialogue, bingo, rusty sword unlocked. And our reward, besides the iron sword unlock, Ardougne diary complete. And I'll be honest, this was the big diary I was hoping to unlock. An unlimited teleport to the monastery, and our first stat boosting cape slot is a big grab. Lamp goes right into agility cause Herblore isn't 30. Next stop. Ah, the desert. En route, we bump into a shooting star, and how can we not mine it? Oh, this bronze pickaxe does not really do justice. However, once we hit 25 mining, we got this notice. And you bet I'm gonna detour for that one. And yes, there is new dialogue. There's new dialogue. Not only do we pick up a new coal mention, but our man drops the royal flush of dialogue options. Bronze, iron, steel, mithril, addy, and rune. Rune! I am shocked the dragon pick isn't mentioned at this point. I'll have to pick up a better pick when we're in the neighborhood. Now, some of these desert tasks, super simple. Flying to Polovnish with a magic carpet, done. Zahur cleans an herb for us, done. And this actually also opens up a new unlock option. Using Zahur, we can prep herbs for the Dr. Jekyll events, so long as we get the grimy herb as a drop and get lucky with the Dr. Jekyll event, we could technically unlock all the herbs this way. Shanti has already taught us cactus cutting, done. And now, we hit 2 tasks gated by Icthalaren's little helper. You know we're gonna crack this one open. 1 tinderbox and water skin later, entry is granted into the city, and I'm sure this one random canopic jar and angry ghost are just coincidence. After searching a few pyramid doors, we stand across the guardian mummy. For someone trying to protect the tombs, they sure do divulge a lot of information. From the trap on each floor we need to disarm, to the mummies and scarabs, the snakes and the jars, every possible variation of artifact, and where to turn them in. And even the Pharaoh's scepter, with uses and recharge mechanics. This is a completely lorebound friendly minigame, except for the poison. The poison really sucks, but I mean, hey, that's 2 tasks cleared and a truly amazing moneymaker for us in this early stage. With a new quest bubble popped, we also swing up to the Regan Bone Man quest. I really do think vultures might be mentioned on his kill list. Oh, it isn't. Maybe it's on the wish list? At least we're able to passively progress in this quest as we just go about our day, and there are a few enemy unlocks, so it's not a total blowout. Aha, Varrock, you thought we were going in alphabetical order. No, proximity-based options are the best. The tea salesman unlocks tea and stealing tea. We're a wee bit shy on kudos, but as we complete more quests, those will come naturally. Now, the earth tier mention is blocking us, but we might be able to complete the plank task. 1 log and 1 walk later, and the sawmill operator not only blasts us with the planks, but also a detailed tree location guide for teak and mahogany. Gross. Wilderness. At the Varrock's Enclave, no less. I mean, I search around just in case I can get a sneaky energy pool unlock. I would love to have the stamina here. A teleblock, that's rather unexpected, but thank you, Varrock's. How about you, sister? Oh, sweet Sarah Dolman! That's protect melee. That's protect melee. All forgiven, sister. I'll take your protect melee over a pool of stamina any day of the week, but seriously, do we have the pool of stamina yet? This demon prayer restoration task is actually a little tricky for us since we can't actually use any prayers, thus we can't lower our prayers to boost our prayers. Now we could go to the shadow spiders under the waterfall, or, now hear me out now, 1 more prayer level. Thankfully, I know of an unlocked altar we can offer bones at nearby. Thank you, prayer tutor. Oh, hey Ian, you wouldn't happen to explain team capes, would you? Oh, you do? Well, okay then. Looks like I'll have to pick up one of those when I have the gold. Shockingly, no incidents at the prayer altar. 1 level increase, and we have finally unlocked our first usable prayer. Rapid heal. En route to the demonic altar, I search for any red spider eggs to clear off that task, but nothing. Except for Rick Turpentine. Great timing, bud. I was just looking for some coins in the deep wilderness. I think there's some eggs in the Edgeville Wilderness dungeon, so we'll head there afterwards. Demonic task complete. En route to the KBD layer, we bump into Edmund. Should probably grab a cape while I still have the money. Kinda like blue, so yeah, task complete. I also had a total brain fart. I was completely ready to suicide into the KBD layer and forgot you could teleport out of the KBD layer as well. Looks like you're not dying today, Lorebound. Into the Edgeville dungeon. I don't recall the red spiders hitting so damn hard, but we should be able to manage. Okay, skeletons, lay off. Lay off! Yeah, I got nothing here. There's some serious locks in this area. We'll touch on this later. Morytania might be a dead zone for us. While we certainly can tan hides, it is currently impossible to kill one of the residents in their human forms. Yes, if we hit them, they turn into werewolves, but they aren't werewolves now. I'm gonna have to pull for this one, honestly. The Ghost Disciples are also very descriptive with bone meal crushing and ectoplasm harvesting, so that's another task, and some ecto tokens unlocked. Ah yes, yet another bird locking our diary, but let's see what else we got. Using swamp toads? Locked. Picking one off the ground? Totally in bounds. Gnome ball? Shockingly well explained. Still a piece of garbage minigame, you bloody shin kickers, but alas, complete. Now the gnome agility course seemed completely locked until Renaxula mentioned that the trainers have 5 or 6 dialogue options. Sure enough, the 2 times I interacted with them before were identical and they were just beratement. But now, this is enough to go off of. Agility course and task complete. Runescence mine? Simple. Terror bird killing, thanks to the basement in the museum. Nice and killable. A long run to some iron later, and we check the task list. Ugh, the rants one. Yuck. I don't want to do it, but I'm gonna need some more bones for that though, for more ogre arrows. White Wolf Mountain has some lower leveled wolves, but the Stronghold of Security has really low wolves. Along with some minotaurs, which thanks to our in-context rule set and a reminder from Carl Y, these are on the kill list as well. For the next few minutes, I trained defense. Level 20 defense would unlock the Shayzien armor stuff, and frankly, I feel due for an armor upgrade right about now. I alternate between minotaurs and wolves until the minotaur drops the collection log slot item, the skull left half. 1/4 of the way to having a staff. Hoorah! I then focus exclusively on the wolves until we reach 20 defense and one more for good measure to bump our arrowhead tally to over 150. Oh, the ogre bow sucks so much. Oh, I want that combo so bad. Burning passion. Hey, Rants. I need a hat, thanks. Locked, locked, locked. Alright, moving on then. I'm an organ-playing, fish-netting, stew-slurping, tea-sipping monster. All that really remains here is the elemental workshop and jute seed farming, but that's gonna be tricky to unlock. I detour for a better pickaxe. Hello, Mithril! Repairing a broken strut. I really hope we learn that in the Motherlode mine. I mean, yeah, our bargain bin Toy Story 2 prospector mentions everything. The hoppers, the loot. It even graciously mentions that we can just whack the sleuth with a hammer to get it working again. Don't mind if I do. We trim the old mutton chops. Oh no, but no, put it back, put it back! Hop the wall, fill the buckets. Man, some of these are just kind of filler tasks, aren't they? I get it, but like, kill a duck? Seriously, how am I supposed to get a duck unlock? Wow, there are a bunch of 0 skill requirements in this area. However, those filler tasks do lead me to Sarah, who I talk to. She talks about weaving, baskets, and sacks. But with that, you guessed it, jute, which we can plant ourselves, and also young willow trees, which we also need to plant ourselves to get branches, which we can also trim with secateurs. What an unlocked combo. Damn. I wanted to get the mine tiara out of the way, so I mined some silver thinking, oh yeah, I can make those. I have the mold, the tiara, the concept of making tiaras, and elemental tiaras, and the mine everything was lining up so nicely. I can't make the bars yet. I guess that's one more reason to do the Night Sword, I guess. Karamja! A ferry trip, some bananas, and a single shrimp later, and the diary is looking to be quite the clean sweep. The fight caves are explained to us, though we can't kill anything inside at this time. The agility rope is swung, the jokers are safe spotted, and thanks to the unlock from the wise old man from episode 1, we can actually kill those guys. Bridges are crossed, and seaweed is picked. Also monkey murder. Old man needs your paw, might as well get it while I'm here. Our last and largest stop on the world tour. We start in Hosidius, grabbing our first fruit steal of the account. A quick conversation with Kono unlocks saltpeter, which we promptly dig up. I was hopeful that the boat ferryman would have something to say about sand crabs, but Shani Crab didn't mention sand crab at all. The trout task is also not really working. Maybe in another area? Let's play what's actually defined as the River Molk. Not this second location, apparently. Confused, I pray at the main castle and work my way through the unlocked Shayzien agility course in order to pop out 2 quick tasks. And then the distraction hits. The armor set. It screams. Come get me. You want me. Love me. And so I completely paused my plans to try one of the hardest things Lorebound has ever done, ever. For those unfamiliar with the Shayzien armor set grind, there are 5 tiers of armor, and you gotta beat each tier of enemy in order 5 times to unlock the next tier of armor. But the enemies are locked though, right? Oh, sweet summer child. They actively, personally ask us permission to fight us. There is nothing more Lorebound than 2 dudes bashing maces. Note to self, work on phrasing. These fights though have rules. No overhead prayers, no major range, just melee. Our account gets a blue ribbon for the most optimal Shayzien soldier crusher. I wasn't expecting the tier 2 soldier to be that much tougher, but he started slapping hard. We could still kill about 3 per inventory of food though, so we progressed nonetheless. But as we moved on to tier 3, and I replaced our outdated gear set with the upgraded armor rewards, I actually saw a dip in damage from them, as we cleared all 5 of their tier 3 enemies with a single inventory with some food to spare. That quickly turned around though. Tier 4, very similar to tier 2. The armor was helping significantly, and we were able to take out 3 per inventory of food. But tier 5, these guys were level 99. No weapon. I thought, that's great. Surely they can't hit me too hard. I then proceeded to get my booty kicked in by this guy. Full inventory of food, gone. Look at this guy, hanging on with a sliver of health. If I was a hardcore iron, I would have dipped, but there's a chance. One good hit was all I needed.
Dying on my hardcore Iron Man. Completed.
I mean, at least I got a free full heal out of that. Round 2, I brought pies. They did not care. I was clearly overcomplicating things. I needed salmon and a lucky streak. Sometimes you win, sometimes you don't, right? Our health levels up. Clearly, this was a sign that we got this. We get a hot streak on our hits, back to back, and it's possible. We can do this. We got it. Now, I should not get cocky, though. That was way too close for comfort. Huh. The Shayzien Body 4 is actually better for non-ranged uses. That's actually a significant stat difference. I did not know that. Oh, dang. Still way too close. I need to find a way to give myself an edge. Introducing the patent-pending Lorebound Eat and Run. By running like a wuss, you can get a few free ticks of eating while the enemy isn't pounding your teeth in. Final piece. One more kill. Why does he hit so hard? I know the strategy is helping in theory, but he was hitting so hard. Again, we run out of food. Just one little push. Victory at a photo finish. That was anyone's fight here. I glean at our first green logged collection category, delighted that we were able to push through. I finally feel like we're no longer completely undergeared for our level, though our training shield did vanish and I'll need to pick up a new one of those probably. Unpause the tasks. Really? That's where the river mulk is? Okay then. Couple of tasks left. We get a maze random. The rewards were 2/3 useless, but I mean the coal is nice. Mine some ores, visit the Arceus library, and I am realizing there's probably a lot of potential unlocks by reading these books ourselves, but that just seems subject for another episode entirely, so I'll leave them be. Lastly, after a bunch of wandering, I realized that the Warrens isn't a dude, it's a place. The Warrens General Store is a general store in the Warrens, which is in a manhole in Port Piscarilius. Why the heck was it so hard to find? And that concludes the task blitz, and leads us to where we want to be. A clear, concise list of locked content. We have tie-ups in Hunter, Fletching, Herb Lore, Construction, Farming, Smithing, Mining, and Rune Crafting. We have a bunch of enemies that we cannot attack yet, and quite a few tasks locked behind quests. 2 items we need drops for, 6 items we need mentions for, and 5 Lorebound focused concepts that need to be mentioned. Lastly, I need to mention this before end of episode, but as per some of your comments, I've been told Grace could unlock rooftop agility courses and Marks of Grace. And while this definitely unlocks the concept of rooftop agility courses, an individual mention of the course still seems necessary to... Well, damn. This other comment related to the same area couldn't possibly make... Well, damn! Thank you so much for watching and giving Lorebound such a great direction via the polls and the comments. I've got some spreadsheets to update and some comments to scour, so have a lovely day, and I'll see you in the next one. Toodles!